Good morning, everyone. It's Thursday, September 10th. From the San Antonio Express News, my name is Luis Vasquez, and this is your Express Briefing. All of the stories you need to know to start your day. You can expect mostly cloudy skies with a high of 76 and a chance of thunderstorms in San Antonio today. The lead representative for the local deputies union hammered away at a virtual collective bargaining session on Wednesday on working conditions at the Bexar County Jail, comparing detention officers to workers in a coal mine. Also, Bexar County intends to implement a managed assigned counsel office that will work with the public defender to increase accountability and supervision of court-appointed lawyers involved in indigent cases, officials announced on Wednesday. And now let's move on to the top stories for the day. Cornerstone Christian Schools filed a suit on September 1st to try to extricate itself from the Metropolitan Health District's directive that schools publicly post their coronavirus case numbers on their website, just in time for Metro Health to quietly toss the requirement 2 days later. That will leave the decision to publicize cases voluntarily for private schools in Bexar County. All schools must still report the information to Metro Health, but the local health agency won't release school-specific information, it said on Wednesday. Peggy O'Hare explores the new rules and the ways they're different for public and private schools. San Antonio's first large-scale job retraining program launched August 31st, an initiative that's expected to help thousands of people who were thrown out of work and make the area more economically competitive. A coalition of organizations are collaborating on the $75 million project that will help 10,000 people retrain for in-demand jobs through 2021. Workforce Solutions Alamo serves as the clearinghouse to help job seekers access resources. With more than 1,300 applicants so far, their advice is don't hesitate to reach out and do it sooner rather than later. In August, the San Antonio area saw the third most unemployment claims in Texas, behind the Gulf Coast and Dallas regions. That's just part of the problem. Brandon Lingle takes a look at the big picture in this collaboration with Report for America. With hopes of another round of federal stimulus money quickly fading, San Antonio officials will have to dip into local funds to pay for the city's public health response to the novel coronavirus and help residents harmed by the pandemic's economic fallout. The city will burn through its $50 million housing assistance fund by October. The money helps residents with rent and mortgage payments and can cover their utilities and grocery bills. At the same time, the city must spend $57 million in federal dollars that Metro Health received to cover costs from fighting COVID-19 by the end of the year, a mandate set out in the $2.2 trillion stimulus bill. A proposal laid out by city officials Wednesday would buy San Antonio time. Joshua Fector explains all the details in his latest article. Joana Lizeth Hernandez rhymes a lot. She's not always aware of it, at least not until a line tumbles out of her mouth and someone responds in appreciation, especially children. I am a gift and I have many gifts. 20 pages of prose for preschoolers and kindergarten reinforces a child's worth and reflects a multicultural community of children. Elaine Ayala has more on the self-published book and the author's journey to make it happen. To keep our readers up to date on the path of COVID-19, the Express News has built a dashboard of interactive graphics showing the spread of the virus in the San Antonio area, in Texas as a whole, and across the United States. We've also created an interactive map of San Antonio for COVID-19 testing sites that don't require a doctor's referral. You can find a link to the dashboard and the interactive map in this episode's description. Next up are your need-to-know headlines. You can find all of these headlines and more inside your Express News subscription. With the number of COVID-19 cases, hospitalizations, and deaths continuing to decline, San Antonio has dropped its risk for the disease to the safe level. Governor Greg Abbott on Wednesday called on political candidates in Texas to pledge support for police funding, leaning further into an issue that plays well among the Republican base in the lead-up to the November election. Plans are in place to tear down most of the buildings comprising the Friedrich complex on East Commerce Street and build 347 apartments, a $68 million undertaking dubbed Friedrich Lofts. Pre-K4 SA anticipates having over 500 students learning from home this semester. The city program is equipping its remote learning kids with new iPads and internet access. U.S. Senator Ted Cruz could get a Supreme Court nomination if President Donald Trump gets a second term. The Texas Republican and former state solicitor general was among 20 potential nominees Trump named Wednesday. The Texas Association of School Administrators has announced 6 finalists for its 2021 Texas Teacher of the Year Award, including 2 from the San Antonio area, Lisa Berry and Adriana Abundis. Spurs assistants Becky Hammon and Will Hardy are expected to interview for the Indiana Pacers head coaching vacancy, according to ESPN. National Democrats are committing to $1 million in television ads aimed specifically at San Antonio voters, where 2 of the most competitive congressional races are on the line. Texas officials must notify voters that their mail ballot has been rejected because of a signature issue, a federal judge has ruled, a decision hailed by voting rights groups as a huge victory. The slimmed-down GOP stimulus bill that the Senate is expected to vote on this week includes a school voucher bill that U.S. Senator Ted Cruz has long pushed with the help of Education Secretary Betsy DeVos. Bankrupt San Antonio area education software developer Asteria Education Incorporated dropped its fight with the Small Business Administration over a coronavirus relief loan. The Express News editorial board recommends Bexar County Sheriff Javier Salazar for a second term and incumbent tax assessor collector Albert Uresti for a third term. A weekly night parade of large pickup trucks through New Braunfels to show support for President Trump has created divisiveness and fear, said Mayor Rusty Brockman, issuing a call for peace and good behavior. While many historians have tended to write the history of the United States-Mexico border as characterized by violent conflict, a new scholarly impulse is taking shape to document how cross-border cooperation also shaped life along the lands of the Rio Grande and Rio Bravo. That impulse is active in Miguel Ángel González Quiroga's new book, War and Peace on the Rio Grande Frontier from 1830 to 1880, published this year by the University of Oklahoma Press. Ed Conroy has the full story at the link in this episode's description. Until recently, it was an eyesore of weeds and rocks, with cracked sidewalk and a gnarly oak tree providing a modicum of shade. But since nearby residents banded together to transform it into a pocket park, Highcliff Island looks better and has brought the neighborhood together. We have a guide on making enchiladas and enchilada sauces at home with tips from Cappy Lawton, owner of La Fonda on Main. Lone Star Brewing Company has released a new seasonal brew and it's a peach. Or peach-infused anyway. Express News staff writer David Hinojosa sets up the San Antonio area's high school football weekend. And that's all for today. This was your Express briefing for Thursday, September 10th. My name is Luis Vasquez. Please consider becoming an Express News subscriber to get in-depth coverage on all the stories you heard today. Also, be sure to rate and review this podcast inside of your Apple Podcast app, as it really helps the show. Have a wonderful day, everyone.